Some people build fortunes, others accidentally destroy them, from janitors cleaning up million-dollar art to workers demolishing the wrong bridge. In today's video, we're diving straight into the dumbest disasters money could buy. Think of it as a chaotic blend of fails plus fortune plus facepalm. 1. A warehouse worker in Italy once confused a switch labeled main valve for the lights and accidentally drained 1.5 million liters of premium wine straight into the city sewer system. Local cats had the wildest day of their lives. The winery went bankrupt, and the worker reportedly claimed it smelled like success. The footage of red rivers flooding the street became an instant viral disaster online. 2. A museum janitor in Germany thought he was being helpful when he cleaned up what he believed were dirty stains on the floor. Turns out he scrubbed away a $1.1 million modern art piece that was literally supposed to look like a mess. The artist called it a tragedy. The janitor called it doing his job. Insurance called it unrecoverable stupidity. 3. A sleepy airport baggage handler in Moscow accidentally hit the wrong button, opening the cargo door of a jet loaded with $3 million worth of medical equipment. Everything rolled off like an expensive waterfall. The handler froze as boxes tumbled down the tarmac. He reportedly muttered, "That's above my pay grade," before walking away. The airline lost millions, but gained a lifetime of memes. 4. A factory worker in Japan was trying to impress his co-workers by spinning his forklift like Tokyo Drift. One bad turn later, he demolished an entire row of luxury cars waiting for export, totaling $8.4 million. Security footage shows his face going from smug to ghostly white in 0.4 seconds. The clip still circulates in forklift safety trainings worldwide, ironically, as motivation. 5. A man in Brazil accidentally deleted his company's entire database worth $12 million because he thought format disk meant make space for new files. In seconds, 2 decades of records vanished. He tried to hit undo, but reality doesn't have Control+C. It later confirmed he hadn't even made a backup. The company made him the employee of the month, sarcastically. 6. A cleaner in London unplugged a weird noisy box in a university lab to stop it from humming during her night shift. That box was keeping a $24 million cryogenic experiment at -200 degrees Celsius. By morning, years of research melted. Literally, scientists wept. The cleaner said she just wanted a bit of peace and quiet. The institution added warning labels overnight. 7. A wedding videographer in Dubai thought using a drone for aerial shots would make him look cinematic. Instead, the drone clipped the chandelier, showering guests with glass and destroying $4 million worth of decorations. The bride screamed, the groom ducked, and the videographer calmly said, "We'll fix it in post." The footage went viral before the cake was even served. 8. A tech intern in California accidentally sent an unfinished internal software update to millions of users, crashing the company's entire system for 48 hours. Losses? Over $35 million? His message simply read, "Just testing something, LOL." The CEO's heart rate monitor reportedly triggered a medical alert. That intern? He's now a motivational speaker on learning from failure. 9. A fisherman off the coast of Norway hooked something heavy, thinking it was the catch of his life. It wasn't. It was a centuries-old Viking artifact worth nearly $7 million. Trying to free his line, he smashed it against his boat until it sank back into the sea. The local museum called it the dumbest loss in maritime history. He still brags about that big one that got away. 10. A construction supervisor in Qatar decided to test the durability of a newly built marble staircase by driving a small excavator over it. Spoiler, it didn't hold up. The entire staircase collapsed, causing $9.5 million in damages and one man rethinking his life choices. His boss reportedly said, "Well, at least we now know it wasn't durable." 11. A sleepy intern at NASA was told to clean up old files. He misunderstood and deleted telemetry data from the Apollo 11 moon landing backups, worth millions in historical and research value. The footage was permanently lost. The man later said he thought the tapes were just old recordings of clouds. NASA never recovered the originals. Only grainy copies remain today. 12. A man in Germany tried to kill a spider in his garage using a lighter and spray can. He accidentally torched a luxury car collection. Flames reflecting off chrome. His insurance report listed arachnid warfare as the cause. Firefighters found only melted Ferrari badges and a perfectly unharmed spider scurrying away. 13. An art collector tried to remove dust from a famous 17th century painting using a vacuum cleaner. The entire paint layer came off like a sticker, leaving a blank beige canvas. The man reportedly said, "It looks cleaner now." The destroyed painting was valued at $8 million. 14. A YouTuber attempted to prove Teslas are explosion-proof by hitting his new Model S with a sledgehammer for views. He dented the battery casing. Seconds later, it caught fire, and he ran screaming. His $130,000 car burned to the frame in 3 minutes. The video went viral, but the insurance didn't cover internet experiments. 15. A warehouse worker leaned on a red button marked "Do Not Press." It controlled an automatic robot arm that instantly dropped a $2 million satellite mirror. The mirror cracked like glass candy. The worker claimed he was just resting. The arm's nickname later became the Hand of Regret. 16. A chef in France was bragging that he could flambe anything. He decided to flambe a $300,000 bottle of rare cognac during a TV show. The heat cracked the ancient glass, the liquid caught fire, and the crowd gasped as money literally burned. He shouted, "C'est la flamme de succès," as security put it out. 17. A man tried to dry his pet snake under a heat lamp, except it was sitting on a pile of antique banknotes he'd been collecting. The lamp overheated, ignited the notes, and burned through $1.4 million worth of currency. The snake slithered out unharmed. The man said, "At least he's warm." 18. A farmer in Brazil thought his field's weird stone was ugly and exploded it with dynamite. Turns out it was a 200-pound meteorite worth nearly $4 million. Scientists traced fragments across his crops. The farmer said, "It looked like a cow stepping stone." 19. A cleaner at an Italian museum unplugged a fridge to save electricity. Inside were chemical samples from a $24 million art preservation experiment. When curators arrived, everything had melted into gray sludge. The cleaner proudly said, "No need to thank me, I saved power." 20. A Hollywood stuntman tested his homemade jetpack in a parking lot, ignoring engineers' warnings. He soared 30 feet, straight into a billboard for his own movie. The crash destroyed both jetpack and billboard, worth over $500,000. Ironically, it became the film's best promo clip. 21. A hotel cleaner in Italy thought a modern art installation made of crumpled papers and empty bottles was just leftover trash from a party. She cleaned the entire thing before the gallery opened, tossing the art into a dumpster. The artist later said it took him 6 months to create that mess, and it was worth over $250,000. 22. A ship mechanic decided to test the engine pressure on a cargo vessel while docked. He didn't know the throttle was jammed. The ship shot forward like a rocket, destroying the dock, 4 smaller boats, and causing $12 million in damage before stopping. The mechanic's words, "I just wanted to hear it purr." 23. An office intern unplugged a server to charge her phone, not realizing it powered the company's entire e-commerce system. Within minutes, thousands of online orders failed, wiping out over $4 million in potential revenue. She said she thought the big gray box was just a fridge. 24. A farmer in Kansas burned old hay near his field, but forgot about his brand new combine harvester parked nearby. The $400,000 machine went up in flames while he roasted marshmallows nearby, proudly saying nothing beats country life. 25. An art collector lent a priceless 18th century violin to a musician for a charity concert. The musician tripped on stage mid-bow, fell, and snapped the violin clean in half in front of a horrified audience. The insurance company refused to pay because the musician had enthusiastically fallen. 26. An airport staff member accidentally pressed the wrong button on a new airplane towing vehicle. Instead of parking the private jet, he accelerated it straight into a terminal glass wall. The crash caused $15 million in damage and delayed 43 flights. The staffer said he thought it was reverse. 27. A construction crew accidentally demolished the wrong house, a $2.3 million historic mansion. After misreading the GPS coordinates, the owner returned home to find an empty lot and a note saying, "Sorry for the inconvenience." 28. A worker in a chocolate factory accidentally left a valve open overnight, flooding the entire production floor with liquid chocolate that hardened by morning. Cleanup cost $800,000, and the internet called it the world's most expensive candy disaster. 29. A photographer at a wedding knocked over a candle display while trying to get the perfect shot. The flames spread to expensive drapes, causing a fire that burned $1.4 million in property damage. The couple later joked that the wedding went viral, literally. 30. An aquarium employee overfed rare jellyfish because they looked hungry. The excess nutrients turned the water toxic, killing an entire $5 million exhibit overnight. When asked why he didn't check the feeding chart, he replied, "I thought I was bonding with them." 31. A zookeeper in China tried to wash a rare white tiger cub before a VIP visit using regular shampoo. The chemicals bleached the cub's fur yellow and caused a viral scandal. The zoo spent $2 million on veterinary recovery and rebranding campaigns. The zookeeper said, "At least now it's golden." 32. A man in Dubai wanted to surprise his wife by filling their mansion pool with rose petals. He ordered 5 tons of them by drone, but the petals clogged the pool filters, overflowed into the neighbor's property, and shorted out the underground lighting system. The damage cost $1.6 million. His wife said, "It was romantic for 3 minutes." 33. An engineer in Texas tried to prove that AI could perfectly drive a car using homemade software. He tested it in his boss's Lamborghini. It worked for 8 seconds until the AI mistook a parking lot sign for an open road and launched the car into a fountain. The repair bill hit $480,000. The engineer said, "Technically, it did drive itself." 34. A hotel guest in Las Vegas found a mysterious switch in his luxury suite and flipped it. It controlled a hydraulic art sculpture in the lobby, a 30-foot kinetic display worth $4 million. The sculpture collapsed in front of a crowd during a wedding shoot. Security footage showed him quietly flipping the switch back and sneaking away. 35. A film crew in London accidentally destroyed a $9 million set by leaving fake rain machines running overnight. By morning, the water had soaked through lights, props, and sound equipment. Ironically, the film was titled Perfect Storm. The director laughed hysterically before realizing the insurance had expired that week. 36. A bank security officer tried to demonstrate how foolproof their new glass vault was by hitting it with a small hammer for the press. It wasn't bulletproof yet. The glass shattered instantly, collapsing the vault door mechanism. Repairs cost $3.2 million. He told reporters, "Well, at least we know it's not foolproof." 37. A fisherman in Australia thought he'd caught a giant tuna. He used dynamite to make sure it doesn't escape. The explosion destroyed his $700,000 boat in nearby Coral Reef. It turned out to be a floating weather sensor belonging to the government. When fined, he said, "It wasn't biting, so I made it." 38. An art student accidentally placed her lunchbox in a modern art exhibition at her university. Visitors and critics admired it for 2 days, one even calling it a minimalist statement on consumerism. When she finally picked it up, she tore part of the installation worth $300,000. The headline read, "Student Eats $300,000 Artwork." 39. A maintenance worker at a ski resort tested the snow cannons during off-season, forgetting the machines were filled with artificial diamond dust for an upcoming ad shoot. The cannons blasted the dust across the valley. $5 million worth of diamonds gone with the wind. The company later called it the most expensive snow day in history. 40. A scientist at a research base in Antarctica accidentally dropped his thermos onto a power grid relay, shorting out the station's main generator. The blackout caused $14 million in damages and 3 weeks of emergency shutdown. When asked what happened, he simply said, "I just wanted coffee." 41. A billionaire's assistant tried to impress guests by lighting fireworks from the rooftop of his boss's $80 million mansion. One rocket misfired, landing in the rooftop garden and igniting the decorative fuel lines for the outdoor fire pits. The explosion destroyed the penthouse level entirely. The assistant claimed it was just extra sparkle for the evening. 42. A chef in New York accidentally deep-fried a $250,000 wristwatch belonging to a celebrity diner after mistaking it for a piece of tempura shrimp left on the counter. The watch melted beyond recognition, and the chef tried to serve it as modern art. The celebrity laughed, until he saw the bill for replacement. 43. A security guard at a Swiss bank decided to test if he could outrun the automatic vault door. He couldn't. The door jammed halfway, damaging the reinforced locking system worth $7 million. The repair team took 3 days to open it again. The guard joked, "Guess I'm not as fast as the money." 44. A movie prop designer accidentally built a real working cannon instead of a replica for a medieval film scene. When the director shouted action, the cannon fired and demolished a nearby catering truck. The explosion caused $2.3 million in damages and made the most realistic shot in the film. 45. An art gallery technician leaned against a pedestal to check his phone, not realizing it held a centuries-old vase worth $9 million. The vase toppled in slow motion, shattering into thousands of pieces. The silence afterward was so long that someone coughed just to break it. 46. A private pilot in California accidentally filled his plane's fuel tank with water instead of jet fuel after misreading the color labels. The engine seized mid-taxi, causing a minor crash that totaled the aircraft. The owner said, "At least we know hydration isn't just for humans." 47. A cleaner in Monaco spilled detergent into a billionaire's indoor koi pond, thinking it was algae remover. The water foamed like a bubble bath, killing dozens of exotic fish valued at $2 million. The cleaner was fired immediately, but the internet renamed it the world's most luxurious bubble bath. 48. A museum technician accidentally replaced a priceless Da Vinci sketch with a digital print during restoration prep, then shredded the original paper by mistake. The machine was labeled document scanner. The curator fainted when told the original was securely uploaded to the cloud. 49. A wealthy collector decided to test his antique samurai sword by slicing fruit for a TikTok video. On the first swing, he hit a marble column instead. The blade snapped in half. The sword was worth $5 million. His caption read, "When history meets gravity." So yeah, people spend their whole lives trying to make millions, and somehow these geniuses manage to destroy them in seconds. Which one blew your mind the most? The flying yacht? The golden tiger? Or the guy who deep-fried a Rolex? Drop your pick in the comments. I need to know I'm not the only one losing faith in humanity. And hey, if you laughed, gasped, or just felt a little smarter than these people, hit that subscribe button before you accidentally delete something worth millions too. Bang face with tears of joy.